Right now, someone in your life is pretending to care about you. Yes, you heard that right. That person who smiles at you, who acts supportive, who seems to have your back. They might be harboring deep-seated feelings of hatred, resentment, or envy. And the scariest part? Your gut has been trying to warn you all along. Stop for a moment and think about it. Who came to mind just now? That slight hesitation you felt, that flash of a face in your thoughts. There's a reason for it. Your subconscious picks up on signals that your conscious mind often desperately tries to ignore. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what those signals are. You see, Carl Jung, one of history's most brilliant psychologists, discovered something profound about human nature. He called it the shadow, that hidden part of ourselves where we bury our darkest feelings, especially about those closest. But here's the thing, no matter how well people try to hide these feelings, they always leak out, always. If you've ever left a conversation feeling somehow diminished, questioned yourself after someone's friendly advice, or felt that creeping sense of unease around someone who's supposedly on your side, you're not being paranoid. You're picking up on something real. Before we dive into these critical signs, hit that subscribe button if you want to master the art of reading people's true intentions. Because what I'm about to share isn't just theory. It's practical knowledge that could protect your emotional well-being and transform your relationships forever. Let's start with one of the most insidious signs: weaponized sarcasm. You know those jokes that feel more like subtle stabs? Those moments when someone's laughter seems to carry an edge of contempt? That's not just casual humor. It's a sophisticated form of emotional warfare. Take Michael's situation. His brother-in-law constantly made playful remarks about his business. "Oh, still working on that startup dream. How adorable." Or, "Must be nice to have such simple ambitions." Each comment was delivered with a smile, but loaded with contempt. Michael always felt a knot in his stomach after these interactions, but kept dismissing it as oversensitivity. Big mistake. This type of veiled hostility isn't random. It's calculated. Jung understood that people often project their deepest insecurities and resentments through seemingly innocent comment. They're taking shots at exactly what threatens them about you. Your success, your happiness, your potential, and when you try to call it out, watch how quickly they backpedal. "Can't you take a joke? Why are you so sensitive?" These are classic gaslighting tactics meant to make you doubt your own perceptions. But here's the truth. Your instincts are sharper than you think. If this is already ringing bells for you, hit that like button. It helps others find this crucial information. And trust me, what comes next will open your eyes to even more subtle ways people reveal their hidden hatred. The signs we're about to explore, they're happening in your life right now, whether you realize it or not. But sarcastic remarks are just the beginning. There's an even more subtle form of hatred that masquerades as forgetfulness or simple oversight. I'm talking about the art of subtle sabotage. And chances are it's happening to you right now. Picture this: that friend who consistently forgets your important dates, the colleague who never quite manages to pass along crucial information, or the family member who's always just a little too busy to show up for your significant moment. You've probably made excuses for them, right? They're just scattered. Life gets busy. It's not personal. But let me tell you something that might shake you to your core. Jung understood something profound about human nature. What we call forgetfulness often masks conscious choices. When someone repeatedly overlooks what matters to you, they're sending a message. It's a form of psychological warfare so subtle that most people never even realize they're under attack. Let me share something that happened to Lisa. Her best friend of 15 years would consistently forget to invite her to group gatherings until the last minute, always with a perfectly reasonable excuse. "Oh, I thought Sarah told you," or "It completely slipped my mind." But here's the catch. This same friend never forgot to invite others, never forgot to post about the events on social media, never forgot to plan ahead for other people's celebrations. This isn't forgetfulness. It's a calculated pattern of exclusion, and it's just one way that hidden hatred manifests in our closest relationships. But here's where it gets really interesting. These patterns often hide an even deeper dynamic: silent competition. You see, the people who secretly hate you are often those who feel most threatened by your very existence. They're the ones who can't quite celebrate your victories, who somehow always manage to one-up your achievements or diminish your successes. Oh, you got a promotion? Yeah, I turned down something similar last year. Sound familiar? This is what Jung called shadow projection. When someone's own insecurities and unacknowledged feelings get projected onto you, they might smile and congratulate you, but their words carry a subtle weight that leaves you feeling somehow less than, somehow apologetic for your own success. If you're starting to recognize these patterns in your own life, don't scroll away. What I'm about to share next could explain why you've been feeling drained around certain people, why your confidence seems to slip away in specific relationships, and most importantly, what you can do about it. But first, let me know in the comments if you've experienced this kind of subtle sabotage. Your story might help others realize they're not alone, and they're not imagining things. Because trust me, what comes next will make you question everything you thought you knew about the people closest to you. And this brings us to one of the most dangerous masks of hidden hatred: excessive kindness. Yes, you heard that right. Sometimes, the people who seem the most supportive are actually undermining you in ways so subtle you might be missing the red flags entirely. Have you noticed someone in your life who's always ready with advice, always seems to know what's best for you, always has an opinion about your choices? This behavior might seem caring on the surface, but there's often a darker psychological dynamic at play. Jung called this false benevolence, a form of control disguised as support. Let me tell you about Rachel. Her mother-in-law seemed like the perfect example of kindness, always offering advice about her marriage, her career, even how to raise her children. But with every suggestion, every piece of helpful guidance, Rachel felt her confidence eroding. "I'm just trying to help," her mother-in-law would say, while systematically dismantling Rachel's sense of capability. This is where it gets fascinating and disturbing. These overly helpful people often use their supposed kindness to keep you in a state of dependency. They'll offer advice you didn't ask for, then make you feel guilty for not taking it. They'll extend help you don't need, then remind you of their generosity. It's a sophisticated form of emotional manipulation that Jung recognized as a manifestation of the shadow. But wait, it gets even more insidious. Have you ever noticed how these same people tend to share stories about you with others? This brings us to another critical sign: the weaponization of information. That person who always seems to know everyone's business, who shares concerns about you with others, who somehow manages to turn your private struggles into public discussion points. They're not being caring. They're engaging in a form of social assassination. Think about it. How many times has someone prefaced a piece of gossip with, "I'm only telling you this because I care"? This isn't concern. It's a calculated attempt to control your narrative, to shape how others perceive you. Most people never realize it's happening until their reputation has already been damaged. Drop a like if you're starting to see these patterns in your own life. Trust me, recognizing these signs is just the first step toward protecting yourself. Because what I'm about to reveal next might be the most crucial insight of all, the moment when hidden hatred becomes impossible to ignore. But before we get there, let me ask you this. How many times have you shared good news with someone, only to feel somehow diminished by their response? That seemingly supportive friend who can't quite muster genuine enthusiasm for your achievements. That family member who always finds a way to change the subject when you're celebrating. There's a reason for that response, and it's more calculated than you might think. You see, there's something particularly revealing about how people react to your success. It's one of the most powerful indicators of hidden hatred, and once you understand it, you'll never miss these signs again. When someone who claims to care about you can't genuinely celebrate your achievements, they're telling you exactly how they really feel, without saying a word. Consider this scenario. You've just accomplished something significant, maybe a promotion, a personal milestone, or even just a small victory you're proud of. The people who secretly harbor negative feelings toward you will have a telltale response pattern. They'll offer quick congratulations that feel hollow, immediately shift the conversation to themselves, or worse, subtly diminish your achievement. "Oh, you got the promotion? In this economy, they must really be desperate for people." Or perhaps, "That's great. Reminds me of when I achieved something much bigger." Sound familiar? These responses aren't just social awkwardness. They're deliberate psychological tactics designed to rob you of your joy. Jung understood something profound about this behavior. He recognized that the inability to celebrate others' successes often stems from a deep-seated fear of being overshadowed, of being revealed as less than them. But here's what makes it truly insidious. These people will often go to great lengths to maintain the appearance of support while actively working to undermine your confidence. Let me share David's story. Every time he shared good news with his brother, there was this subtle shift in the conversation. His brother would say, "Congratulations," but would quickly add, "Just be careful though," followed by a list of potential problems or ways things could go wrong. It was so subtle that David spent years doubting himself, second-guessing his achievements, never realizing that his brother's concerns were actually manifestations of hidden resentment. This is where it gets really interesting, and why hitting subscribe right now could protect your emotional well-being. Because once you recognize these patterns, you'll start seeing them everywhere. That friend who always needs to one-up your stories, that family member who finds subtle ways to question your choices, that colleague who spreads concerns about your success to others. They're all showing you their true feelings if you know how to read the signs. But here's what's crucial to understand. This behavior often escalates when you're at your highest points. Your moments of triumph become their moments of greatest threat. Watch carefully how people react when you share genuine excitement about your life. Their immediate response, their body language, the words they choose. It's all sending a message. And if you're starting to recognize these patterns in your own relationships, pay attention to what I'm about to share next. Because understanding the final, most revealing sign of hidden hatred could completely transform how you navigate your closest relationships. The truth I'm about to reveal, it explains why you've always felt something was off, even when you couldn't quite put your finger on it. But before I reveal this final, crucial sign, let me share something that might shock you. The people who harbor these hidden feelings of hatred, they're often struggling with something far deeper than you realize. Remember what Jung discovered about the shadow. What we hate in others is often what we fear most about ourselves. Here's the most revealing sign of all. Watch how people react when you're truly, authentically yourself, when you're not trying to please them, when you're not dimming your light, when you're simply existing in your full power. The ones who secretly hate you, they can't handle it. Their mask will crack, even if just for a moment. You'll see it in the micro-expressions, that flash of displeasure when you share your dreams. You'll hear it in the subtle shifts of tone, the way their voice tightens when discussing your choices. You'll feel it in the energy they bring to conversations about your life, that heavy, dampening presence that leaves you feeling somehow smaller. Think about someone in your life right now. Someone who always seems to be there, who says all the right things but leaves you feeling drained. Have you noticed how they react when you stop seeking their approval? When you make decisions without consulting them? When you show confidence in your own path? This is what makes this sign so powerful. It reveals itself most clearly when you start trusting yourself. When you begin to break free from their influence, their true feelings become impossible to hide. The person who secretly resents your growth can't maintain their supportive facade when faced with your genuine self-acceptance. Let me tell you about Marcus. He had a mentor at work who always positioned himself as Marcus's biggest supporter. But when Marcus started developing his own leadership style, started gaining recognition for his unique approaches, his mentor's support transformed into something else entirely. Subtle undermining in meetings, backhanded compliments, concerned conversations with other leaders about Marcus's readiness for advancement. This is the moment when hidden hatred becomes most visible. When you step into your power, because people who genuinely care about you will celebrate your authenticity. They'll support your growth without trying to control its direction. They'll cheer your successes without adding caveats. If you're recognizing these patterns in your relationships right now, know this: awareness is your greatest power. Understanding these signs isn't about becoming paranoid or distrustful. It's about honoring your intuition, protecting your energy, and choosing to surround yourself with people who can celebrate the real you. The truth is, not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well, but not everyone who challenges you wishes you harm either. The key is learning to distinguish between genuine concern and masked resentment, between real support and hidden hatred. Your gut has been trying to tell you the difference all along. Take a moment right now to reflect on your relationships. Who makes you feel expanded, energized, capable? And who leaves you feeling drained, doubtful, diminished? The answers might surprise you, but they won't lie to you. If this video has helped you understand the dynamics in your own relationships, hit that like button and subscribe. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because understanding these signs isn't just about identifying hidden hatred. It's about creating space for genuine connections, authentic support, and real love in your life. Remember, you don't need to confront every person who shows these signs. Sometimes simply understanding what's happening is enough to break its power over you. Your awareness is your protection. Your authenticity is your shield. And your willingness to trust your instincts, that's your path to freedom. Thank you for staying with me through these revelations. Your presence here, your willingness to face these truths, shows that you're ready for deeper, more authentic relationships in your life. Keep growing, keep observing, and most importantly, keep being unapologetically you.